All right, so for the next set of questions, what we're going to do is determining what the null and alternative hypothesis are. Then we're going to determine if we reject or do not reject. This problem is actually very easy. We can see that it's a 2-sample hypothesis test, right? But we're given all of the values that we need, so we don't need to calculate anything. We have our test statistic here, our p-value here, our degrees of freedom here. So that's all we need to do this problem. So what are the null and alternative hypotheses? We know that whenever we're trying to figure out what the null and alternative hypothesis is, well, the null always has to have equals in it, right? So just from that alone, we can tell that the answer choice A would be correct. Another way that we can determine which one would be correct is if you look at the top part, this part of the problem, it says, what we're trying to determine is if the mean costs differ between the two training types. Differ means it's an equals doesn't equal problem. It's a two-tailed test. Okay, now we can move on to 6. So at alpha equals 0.01, do we reject or do not reject? So let's use the p-value to determine if we reject or do not reject. So our alpha is 0.01. What's our p-value? Our p-value is 0.011 right here. So we can see that our p-value is greater than our alpha, right? So 0.011 is greater than 0.01. And if you guys remember, when our p-value is greater than alpha, that means we do not reject the null. So A would be correct. All right. Looking at number 7. So at alpha equals 0.05. So alpha is 0.05. What is our p-value? Our p-value hasn't changed. That's 0.011. Here, our p-value is less than alpha. Right? 0.011 is less than 0.05. Let's move this up. And if you guys remember this, whenever this is the case, that means we're going to reject the null. So answer choice B would be correct here.